Hello students, in our previous lecture we started with unit number 1 and we also discussed the limitations of VBT, and to overcome all the drawbacks of VBT the new theory comes, that is CFT. We also discussed the postulates of CFT. According to CFT, and the bond between there is no covalent or coordinate bond is there between ligand and metal ion, but it is just a electrostatic force of attraction which is present between ligand and central metal ion. Now we also studied the different shapes of the 5d orbitals, where we discussed that the dxy, dyz, dxz, these are the d orbitals whose lobes lie in between the axes, while the two d orbitals, that is dx square minus y square and dz square, they are having their lobes along the axis. So the next one is crystal field splitting in d orbitals. Now generally for isolated metal ion, means only metal ion is there without formation or before formation of complex, the all d orbitals of the metal ion, it is degenerate. Now what is this degenerate? Degenerate means having same energy. So when all the d orbitals they are having same energy, we call it as degenerate d orbitals. Now suppose we are thinking of a sponge ball and we try to, it is a spherical as you can see here, and if we try to press that ball, but while pressing that ball, sponge ball, if we are giving equal pressure from all the side, what happened? The shape of the ball, it may reduce, or because it is a sponge ball, but it shows a similarity. And when we pressurize it from different side, the pressure is not equal from all the side, what we get is the third case that you can see here. Here the sponge ball under localized condition, means we are giving a different pressure at different point, we get a distorted or some different kind of sponge ball here, means the energy level is not same here. Okay, in the same way, whenever metal ion is isolated, it is having degenerate d orbitals. When any ligand is approaching the central metal ion, what happened? Again the repulsive force is there between central metal ion, means negative or electrons which is present in the d orbital of central metal ion, and the electron present in the ligand. So but here in that condition, when it is just approaching, that force is equally located for d orbitals, and therefore at that stage also d orbitals they are degenerate, just like when we pressed a sponge ball from all the side, pressure is equal, symmetrical, that's the condition. Okay, but when the ligand approaches too near and when the complex formation is started there, what happened? Now because of the presence of lobes which are different in all d orbitals, their repulsive forces they are also different for all the d orbitals, and in that condition now what happened? The pressure is not equal, repulsion forces are not equal, and therefore at that point that degeneracy of all the orbitals get destroyed or it splits. Okay, so why we are talking about this all splitting? So because here we have to study the splitting of d orbitals in case of octahedral complexes. Generally complexes they are having different geometry. Octahedral complexes are there, tetrahedral complexes are there, square planar complexes are there, distorted octahedral complexes are also there. So let's see what happened to degeneracy of d orbital. Before that, once again I wanted to remind you that we are having d orbitals, 5 d orbitals are there, and out of the 5 d orbitals, d xy, dy z and dxz, these are the orbital whose lobes are there in between axes. Suppose these are axes, so the lobes of these 3 d orbitals, they are in between axis. But the 2 d orbitals are there. One is dz square, whose lobes they lie along the axis, and the second one is d x square minus y square. So these 3 d orbitals are there whose lobes lie in between the axis, and these 2 orbitals, that is dz square and dx square minus y square, they are having their lobes along the axis. Okay, now how it differ or how it affect when complex is formed. So first we are taking the splitting of d orbitals in octahedral complexes. So we have many octahedral complexes, just TiH2O6 3 plus or FeH2O6 2 plus and many more. So what happened when the complex is formed? First of all, you have to remember always, whenever octahedral complex is formed, what happened? It is a purely electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, so central metal ion is there and ligand approaches to that central metal ion with its lone pair or number of electrons electrons which are present in the ligand. It attracts towards nucleus of central metal ion, but d orbitals are there in central metal ion and it possesses electrons. So there is a repulsive forces between d electrons which are present in central metal ion and electrons which are present in ligand. Okay, so initially first thing that you have to remember is that whenever octahedral complex is formed, ligand approaches metal ion along a coordinate axis. Means whenever complex is formed, octahedral complex is formed, ligand approaches central metal ion along the coordinate axis. Okay, now how it affect the degeneracy? Let's see. Now first we are taking isolated, suppose these are 5 d orbitals, and these are the d orbitals of isolated atom or ion. It is a single metal ion. Now when ligand approaches to the central metal ion, the repulsive forces, symmetrical repulsive forces are there. So because of that, the degeneracy remains there, but means all d orbitals, they are degenerate, they are having same energy, but what happened? Their energy level increases just by the process started here. Means just when central metal ion ligand approaches to central metal ion. So here also at this stage you can see degeneracy is maintained by the metal ion. Okay, d orbitals of the metal ion. Now next what happened? Now here the role of all d orbitals comes here now. As we are saying that whenever octahedral complex is formed, ligand approaches to central metal ion along the coordinate axis. So what happened? We are having two types of d orbitals. The set of d orbitals whose lobes lie in between axis, and the two d orbitals or set of 2 d orbitals whose lobes lie along the axis. So in that process what happened? The d orbitals whose lobes lie along the axis, they feel more repulsive force because ligand is also coming along the axis, and therefore the repulsive forces along this dx square and dy square z square lobe is more, and therefore energy level increases. So these two orbital feel more repulsive forces as compared to these two. So because of these difference, what happened now, degeneracy of this d orbital split here, it disturbs here, and immediately it split into two groups. Now which are the two groups? The group dxy, dyz, dxz, whose lobes are not coming directly in path of the complex formation, and therefore what happened, or ligand. So what happened, these d orbitals, they come down, or their energy level is less. So dxy, dyz, dxz, and at the same time the two orbitals which directly come on in the path of ligand, they feel more repulsive forces, and therefore their energy increases as compared to these three one. So it bifurcates. So here degeneracy of d orbital splits here, and it now form or split into two groups. One group where three d orbitals are there, and another group where two d orbitals are there. And the three d orbitals are there, it is called as a T2g group, and the two d orbitals are there, the group is called as EG group. The barycenter, the middle center is there, that is called as a barycenter. Now here the symbol T2 is used for, this is a T2, we are not considering G, why this is also I am telling you. So this T2 term is used for triply degenerate d orbital. Three d orbitals are there, therefore we are saying triply degenerate orbitals means T2, and doubly degenerate orbitals means E. Now what is this G? Now G stands for GRADE. GRADE means centrosymmetry, means G factor is only used when the complex has center of symmetry, just like as in octahedral complex. Now what is this center of symmetry? If you remember, this is a generally central metal ion, and these are the ligands which are present. Now this complex, it is having, or octahedral complex having center of symmetry, and therefore we here use for octahedral complex G factor. So T2G and EG, triply degenerate GRADE and doubly degenerate GRADE. So the separation of these 5d orbitals in two groups in presence of ligand is called as crystal field splitting, and the energy difference between this T2G and EG orbital, it is called as crystal field splitting energy, and it is represented by the factor that is delta O, or it is also denoted by 10 dq. Now each electron which is going in the T2G orbital, it stabilizes the complex by the factor that is plus 0.4 del O, or we can say 4 dq, and each electron which goes to EG orbital or EG orbital, it destabilizes the complex by the factor 0.6 del O, means 6 dq. Now what is this stabilization or destabilization? Because we know that whenever energy drop down, it gives more stability. So each electron which are going to this T2G orbital, here the energy dropping process is there. More and more electrons are going to T2G, energy dropping process is more and more. And if any electron which is going to T2G, it increases the energy level, and therefore it destabilizes the complex. Means each electron which are going here, more and more electrons are going to Eg, more and more destabilization is there for the complex. So we can say that the net release of energy while the formation of complex is called as crystal field stabilization energy, and this energy is responsible for stability of the complex. Now for octahedral complex, crystal field stabilization energy CFSE is equal to minus of 0.4 P minus 0.6 Q, that is into del O. So P is what? P is number of electrons present in T2G. We are not talking about paired or unpaired. We are talking only number of electrons which are present in T2G orbital, and Q means number of electrons which are present in EG orbital. So overall we get some value, and here the overall CFSE value is always negative, because whenever any system is formed or complex is formed, the net energy is always drop down and energy is released here. That means then only we get a stable complex. So this is all about the splitting of d orbitals in octahedral complexes.